So, hello, good evening, everybody. This is Keanu Dominado once again. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everybody. For everybody in subscribing to my channel, I have with me today for an interview, Mr. Terence Lallave and Chupapi. Any great po kayo?
Hello, good evening po sa inyong lahat.
Okay. So basically po, I'll be asking some interview questions. Basically, I'm gonna be raising awareness to promote sim racing in the country and hopefully eventually around the world. So without further ado, let's get started. So, yeah, Terence, I will start with asking the first question, which is, who is Terence Lallave?
Hi, hello everybody. My name is Terence Lallave. I am a driver for Lallave Motorsports Project Anbu. Been in the sim racing industry ever since 2003. Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's almost 17 years in the sim racing, in the racing industry,
Quite
basically.
long, yeah.
Yeah. That's also, were there any events that you have participated in the past that led you to yourself now? Anything you'd like to share?
Um, yeah, I believe marami akong medyo marami na akong events na nasalihan both locally, that was organized locally, and
Mm-hmm.
there are also some other international ones that na nasalihan ko na rin
Mm-hmm.
ever since 2003 until the present. So it's quite a handful of tournaments already and events na nasalihan ko na po.
I see. I see. So, without further ado, let's go on to the next question. What got you into the world of sim racing? Like,
Um,
sure.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Like, for example, is there an event that kick-started your career in sim racing, or was it a hobby turned into a passion, or like how did it go for you back then?
For me back then, paano ba? It all started kasi on 2003. There was this event called the Tuason Racing School C-Top Driver Challenge.
Ooh, okay.
So in this Tuason Racing School's C-Top Driver Challenge back then, they hosted, the format of it was you're going to start with video games,
Mm-hmm.
local tournament with video games, and then you're going to move into go-karts. Then after go-karts, you're
Oh,
going to move into the real cars. So that was before 2003. So that was my first ever local tournament that I've joined.
mm-hmm.
Being an esports driver, kumbaga. Hindi pa esports ang tawag nung mga panahon na yun. It's just a tournament, no? Nobody knows about esports back then. Nobody knows about sim racing back then. It was just called racing games. Ika nga, no? Um, but for starters, it all started for me. Nagsimula lahat ever since I was a little kid. I was already a video gamer, an avid video gamer talaga.
I see.
And in the family computer, na-addict ako dun sa Road Fighter. And
Oh,
then, yeah, so Road Fighter sa yung old F1 na game wherein when you crash, sumasabog yung kotse, di ba? So, yun. So it's been a big ride for the sim racing in general ever since when it started as a video game and where it is now. No,
mm-hmm.
ang layo na niya. Pero to answer your question where I started, it was there in 2003 dun sa C Top Driver Challenge ng TRS.
Mm-hmm.
Yun.
I see. So, also leading to that question, what racing sim did you start out with? Like, is there a game you would like to share that started it all? Like, usually the answers I would get here is Gran Turismo 1, Colin McRae Rally, or F1. Or how about for you,
Actually,
Chupapi?
to be honest, where it all started was when I met Gran Turismo PlayStation 1. So
Oh,
that was when it all started. Parang this game is going to change parang everything about video games. I believed that before. So now look at where it is, 'di ba? It
yeah.
was parang siya yung benchmark ng esports racing games ngayon. I mean, lalo na yung platform niya with the Nations Cup and Manufacturers Cup in the FIA series. So
Yeah.
it's developed a lot over the years. So yun ang galing.
Galing. Tapos the platform is open to all. Parang dati I
It's
think it
open
was
to all.
an invite only, if I'm right, Papi.
There are certain countries that are only eligible. Pero up until now pa rin naman, there are still certain countries which are only available. And sadly, hindi kasama ang Pilipinas doon.
Actually, when I watch your stream, Chupapi, the Chupageti flag is actually Singapore, no?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because there's no Philippine PlayStation Network available. Wala.
Wala.
So that's why Singapore siya.
So also, of course, the viewers would also like to know, Chupapi, ano yung setup na nag-start out with ka? Like, was it mobile? Was it controller? Was it keyboard and mouse?
I started out with a PlayStation controller. I started out with the PlayStation controller and I've been playing with it until umabot ng PS3. The first time I got a wheel the first time I got my hands on a wheel, but it wasn't mine, no? Was on 2003, dun sa sim racing competition at Tuason Racing School. They had, if I'm not mistaken, Logitech, DFGT ata yung tawag doon back then.
Yes.
It was really old. It was really old. So yun yung first time nakahawak ko ng steering wheel. It really felt so good. So unfortunately, I didn't have the means to buy my own back then. So yun.
Yeah. And also for the sim racing game that you started, namely it's Gran Turismo 1, how often do you remember that we call this? How did you learn it? Like, did you learn it through someone or from practice lang, or did someone mentor you into it?
In terms of playing Gran Turismo?
Yes.
In terms of playing Gran Turismo, sadly, walang nagturo. I never got the experience of somebody mentoring me or teaching me back in the days. Until just lately. Pero very, very minimal lang. Very, very minimal lang, no? Everything, most of what I have or most of what I know rin is more on sarili kong na-discover, sarili ko lang siyang natutunan na pag ganito pala ginawa ko, ganito yung magiging behavior ng kotse, pag ganito may ganyang effect, pag alam mo yon and all that. So it just came up learning by your own. But it's very hard kasi how many years, diba, for you to be able to learn all of those. And I'm still learning until now. So, yun. Very hard.
Every experience is new, no? Parang there's no same
every experience is new. Yes. Every experience and every race, there's going to be something new that you're going to learn. So, yun yung hard part. It's for the new people these days, you get the benefit of there are already people that are mentoring, there are already people that can teach you, diba? Iba yung dati. So, yung para sa mga new generations ngayon, for me, they're very lucky na there are already these kinds of people who know how to mentor and who know how to teach, if ever. Yun. Mas mapapadali yung nila, yung growth nila, ika nga.
So kumbaga parang jumpstart program ng racing world yan, a career in sim racing tapos actual. The fundamentals can be taught faster. Kumbaga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oo.
Nice. There's also, if I were to ask you, Chupapi, how does one get started into sim racing? Kung mag-encourage ka ng tao na magsimula sa sim racing, paano mo gagawin? Paano mo sasabihin?
Ako kasi para sa akin, sim racing for me, I believe in the saying that driving is for everyone.
Okay.
So
nice.
whether or not what do you call this? Whatever your age is, whether you're a young boy or a young girl or an old man to an old lady, you can always drive so long as you're physically capable. Diba?
Yes.
And everybody and we know how good of a feeling it is just to get to drive. Even if lalabas ka lang sa village, iikot ka lang, bibili ka lang ng soft drinks, or talagang gusto mo lang umikot din, babalik ka na sa bahay mo.
Yeah, totoo yan.
It happens, diba? It happens. You see the joy on my face upon saying that, diba?
Yes.
Driving is for everyone. And sim racing is also for everyone. So if you are a what do you call this? If you are somebody that has the passion and the love for driving and for the vehicle, I
Mhm.
highly suggest na you go and try sim racing because don't be what do you call this? Marami kasing parang nagsasabi na pag nag-try ako ng sim racing, bobo naman ako diyan eh. Pag nag-try ako mag-sim racing, putya, dami magaling diyan eh. Pag nag-try ako mag-sim racing, babangga lang ako diyan eh. Don't worry about any of those. Just go ahead and enjoy it. Just go ahead and drive it. Just
True.
go ahead and you just if you want to drive, just go ahead and do it lang. You will enjoy it. Don't worry about what the other people are going to say about how you're doing it. So long as you're enjoying what you're doing. Yun yung importante doon.
True. That's
So I encourage everybody to I mean not everyone, but those people that are into vehicles, into cars, motorsport enthusiasts, car enthusiasts,
mhm.
kahit nga yung ano lang kahit nga yung mga forma enthusiast lang sa kotse, I highly encourage you to try out these racing games because you get to do a lot and you enjoy
True.
it. You get to design your own car, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Ayaw mo mag-drive, gusto mo lang magpapogi ng auto, you can try and do that there. And then you
Yeah.
can screenshot it and post it on your Facebook, 'di ba? Puta, ganda ng ginawa ko, 'di ba? Solid. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Yun, I highly encourage everybody to go and try it. If you want to try it, go ahead, please. Yeah.
Nice. So to the viewers watching, we just received a massive value from Terence right here. That it's actually an avenue for pretty much everyone who is enthusiastic in the sport, especially who wants to network and to actually gain some skill along the way. So yeah, thank you
Mm-hmm.
for that, Terence. And also, the question is that how would you say where are you leaning more on? Are you leaning more on actual racing or esports?
For me, I'm leaning more on esports rather than actual racing. For me,
Yeah,
I'm not saying this for everybody. Para sa akin lang.
sure.
It's because first and foremost, esports is very affordable.
Okay,
Rather as compared to real racing.
true. That's
Dahil
very true.
sobrang mahal kumarera sa tunay na buhay. Of course, you have to fund your own race car, you have to buy your own parts, you have to get your own team of mechanics,
True.
etc., etc. Not unlike in sim racing, you just have to get a wheel, your wheel set, and of course a rig that you can
Hmm.
mount your wheel set on, and a stable internet connection. You're good.
True.
Diba?
True.
You can already enjoy everything about driving and even racing, and to be ano, from driving to racing and to being competitive. So parang it all depends on you na. So yun.
Nice. So talagang it's a big opportunity no talaga for esports especially.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So so to the viewers watching to actually answer your question, esports is actually a great avenue to actually get started or even to stay because there's an option for you to grow along the way because not just the skills are built for actual, it's also built for online. So thank you for that, Terence. And next up is that what is your biggest takeaway from the sim racing world? Like, what was the biggest value that you have received from all your experiences from sim racing?
Actually, to be honest no, yung paano ba? Paano ko ba sasabihin ng yung biggest takeaway,
Yeah,
everything is priceless eh. Everything is priceless.
true.
I can just remember the first tournament, alam mo yun, everything about the first tournament from today. So parang all of the memories in sim racing,
Hmm.
all that you have done, the successes, the failures, ang dami. And all of those can't be replicated in terms of money, in terms of whatever tawag dito, kahit material objects or anything, wala eh. Yung makukuha mong enjoyment, yung makukuha mong um, satisfaction,
Hmm.
yung makukuha mong yung mga learnings na makukuha mo along the way to get you to be a better driver,
Hmm.
those are priceless for me.
Oh,
So
I
it's
see.
all about getting those information, feeding yourself all of those information, getting you equipped to be a much better driver the next time you go into a race. It's never ending eh. It goes on and on. So for
True.
me, hindi ako um paano ba 'yon? Wala akong may pagmamalaki na parang oh, nanalo ako kasi ng ganito eh, kasi nanalo ako ng ganyan, nanalo ako ng ganito, nakaabot ako sa ganyan, nakaabot ako sa ganun. No, for me it's all about um yung talagang ano yung mga natutunan ko rin along the way and the feeling of being happy to be able to get to experience those kinds of things because you've got, the Lord above just gave you that kind of talent.
Yes.
So it's all priceless and I don't and yun lang. I'm just very happy about my whole experience from the past until the present. Wins, losses, and everything in between. So yun.
Nice. So apparently, if I were to summarize one part of what you said, actually, the biggest value that you have gotten is actually the experience and the network that came along with it. Am I correct in understanding that?
Sa network, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you get to meet a lot of people along the way. You get to meet like I've met Alex Yung, ex Formula One
Oh,
driver Alex Yung.
yes,
So
yes.
I got to meet Jan Mardenborough from GK Academy.
Wow.
I've met and trained with Marlon Stockinger. So
Wow.
I have so there's a lot eh. There's a lot eh. Not just in the racing world but in the automotive industry in the Philippines. I've met a lot of people, made a beautiful amount of connections, and
Nice.
it talagang all of those are priceless. And for me, I treasure every all of them. So
Nice.
sobrang solid siya.
So there you have it for the viewers. There's really massive value that's about to be made, and to those considering getting into sim racing, my time here may almost be over for the interview, but your journey has just barely begun. So the value provided by Terence, wow, it goes to prove that there is such value to be made. And next up is that, Chupapi, what is your racing discipline of choice? Like if we were to talk about racing in a in a spectrum, it's very broad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
how about for you, Chupapi? What discipline are you leaning more into?
I'm probably going to lean with circuit racing.
Circuit racing. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Is it from experience or talagang hasang-hasa na tayo sa
Hindi naman.
circuit?
I don't wanna say na hasang-hasa, no. I'm still a work in progress. So until now I'm still a work in progress. So
Okay.
um for me lang it's the ano ba? It's the one that I fell in love with. So circuit racing. Actually dalawa sila, eh. Circuit racing and endurance racing. So
Oh,
both of them,
nice.
circuit and endurance. So it's what I love most about my career in the sim racing industry or in the sim racing world. Diyan ako maraming natutunan and I want to learn more. So that's why I'm
Nice.
still here even if antagal na, 'di ba? I'm still here trying to still compete and still trying to, get some laps get some laps in kahit matanda na. So, yun.
Tapos grabe yung actually the growth from back then to now, Chupapi, it's pretty big. The growth from then and now, and the persistence to actually keep experiencing new things. Wow, it's beyond words, Chupapi. Especially now you have a network that is growing day by day, and wow, and you seem to be enjoying. You have a blast on what you're doing pretty much almost every day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, of course. There are I'm enjoying pero there are also times na of course I feel bad because of how I performed ganon
Mhm.
because I think I could have done better or because of things beyond my control like yung binabangga ako mga ganon.
Yeah,
Pero kasama yun eh, wala tayong
that's part of
magagawa.
the
Pero
game, eh.
kasama yun eh. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's part of the game. So, there are most oftentimes when I'm streaming it, lumalabas yung frustration ko. So talagang nagpapamura ako. Ayan, I get so depressed about it. So,
Mhm.
yun lang. So, I'm trying to work around on that one.
Mhm.
So, I try to see if I can parang starting probably tomorrow, I'd probably let go and let God. So parang bahala na. I don't wanna dwell on it too much na rin kasi it's taking too much from me. So yun.
True. Actually, also, nakakapagod din kasi. Like,
Oo, sobra.
yeah.
Sobra.
The mere pressure na, I think, 10 or 20 laps per race yun, Chupapi, no? Like,
It demands a lot. It demands a
true.
lot. Lalo na kasi for me, 'di ba? It's hard to be it's hard to be an entertainer
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to be something na parang you're pursuing what you want to do talaga as an esport racer, 'di ba? So
True.
it's quite hard. It's quite hard. So for me to balance that, mahirap siya for me. So I'm
I see.
trying, but it's so hard. It's not like before kasi before it's solely focused lang on sim racing.
Mhm.
So walang entertainment because I wasn't a streamer before.
I see.
So yun yung challenges and struggles na meron tayo.
I see. I see. Wow. So talagang there's a way to actually add to add more value to the content. Talagang humor also, it really pays actually and even draws the people to you. Talagang wow. Actually, that's also one of the things I'm learning also since kaka-start ko lang mag-stream. So usually pag tumataob yung kotse or nababangga ako, nagpa-flat ako, tinatawanan ko na lang eh. Kahit nangyayari yung mga yan, kaya okay lang. Actually, Chupapi,
Ganun talaga, it
yeah,
happens.
yeah. We could watch each other's streams, Chupapi, one day if may oras ka. Talagang
Of course.
the network at saka the input from everybody else, talagang natututo ako, lalo na sa mga taong hindi taga Pinas. Usually, I share my streams to a Dirt Rally 2 online community. Tapos
Mhm.
the comments usually, kahit minsan criticism,
Mhm.
nabaview ko siya in a positive light eh. So sabi ko, wow.
Mhm.
Tas also I encountered a similar experience sa stream mo, Chupapi. May nag-mention na I think how you can improve on something, tas you gladly
Mhm.
accepted it. Sabi ko, wow. Talagang the support group is very very nice. Tapos it keeps evolving lang as we go along. Talagang positive lang, walang nega. Mga ganun.
Walang nega. Yun ang pinakamaganda sana. Walang nega. Yun ang
Yeah,
pinakamaganda.
true. Talagang wow, ang massive talaga eh. Mga ganun.
And there's also a big there's also I just want to add that there's
Sure.
a lot of value in terms of sim racing, no.
Mhm.
For people that want to like venture out into sim racing,
Mhm.
malaking value ang pwede nilang makuha rin dito. So lalo na if they're trying to get serious enough, they want to go into competitions. There's a lot that they can get. But there are of course great prize pools from tournaments, and then marami ring parang opportunities to get sponsors. If these brands think that you're fit enough to carry their brands, diba? May mga ganun, maraming avenues for monetization. So in terms of
Yes.
doing esports races, so yun.
So basically, not just from subscriptions, but actually from in-stream ads, if I'm right, Chupapi.
Hindi
Ganun.
ko lang, I'm not sure with in-stream ads though. I'm not sure kasi wala akong ganun eh. I'm not sure with that. Pero
I see.
you get star tips from Facebook viewers. You get a
Yes.
chance. You get a
Yes.
chance to for your supporters and your fans and your followers, you can get star tips from them. If you have a good following, then if you have a healthy following, and a healthy community, and of course, ano pa ba? You also can get a chance to work with sponsors and brands. They can
Mhm.
either give you items, they can give you, of course, cash and items or anything in like that. Depende na sa pag-uusap niyo yon. So
I
maraming
see.
maraming ways for you to be able to get monetized by just doing esports.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
So
a great
that
avenue, especially
really,
in COVID. Yeah.
yeah, it really proves
Mm.
to the viewers talaga na there are many avenues of monetization to be made, no? Chupapi, within esports talaga.
Mhm.
Wow.
Hindi lang TikTok ang puhunan. Hindi
Totoo
lang
eh.
TikTok, ayan. Oo.
Totoo
Pwede rin
yan.
kayong pwede rin kayong mag-esports racing at maging parang kasing sikat din ng TikTok. Ayan, oo.
Yo,
Pwede rin. O, yo,
talagang
'di
hindi
ba?
ano,
Pero
hindi
pwede rin, pero kung gusto niyo ng madalian, Pwede kayo mag-TikTok. Ayan. Sikat na kayo kagad.
Kasi grabe sa panahon ngayon, Chupapi, given yung COVID-19 lockdown, talagang yung consumption natin ng online content ang taas. Sobra, di ba?
Yes,
To the
yes,
point
yes, yes, yes,
na
yes.
may mga kaibigan ko, yung mga nagtitweet sila na they're running out of things to watch. Like, talaga, nauubusan kayo. Seryoso.
Ang dami. They probably have not explored yung mga avenues na parang
Yeah.
they can watch new content here, you know, there are
True.
streamers on Facebook, you can watch them, diba?
And also
There's a lot.
for fellow streamers also, it's one nice lucrative thing that I feel, especially now since I evolved from a not just a viewer to actually also a streamer. Parang yung fulfillment na you gave content out there para mapanood ng viewers or kung maka-inspire kasi ng tao na to follow your footsteps or to follow the avenue that you actually started. Parang ang ganda sa feeling, Chupapi. Parang gano'n.
Yun para sa akin naman, that's actually a good feeling. Pero for me kasi, I believe the reason for me why I stream is I have a goal and I stick by my goal. The reason why I streamed is not because gusto kong sumikat, not because na gusto kong parang maging relevant, gusto kong maging ganyan, or gusto kong maging, alam mo yon, sikat or whatever. Hindi naman yun yung, that's not the point why I went into streaming. I went into streaming because I wanted to make people happy. Yung mga kababayan natin, I just wanted to make people happy.
Yeah.
Kaya medyo comedy, medyo ganon yung style natin because I wanted to, that's the goal that I have is to make people happy lang by playing video games. And so far, I think I'm still making people happy every day, every time I go stream. And I'm still going to continue that, no, until wag naman sana sila magsawa.
No, definitely not. Kasi may variety ka, Chupapi eh. Parang hindi lang one avenue, madami. Tapos may Discord pa behind you to actually back you up. So parang wow, as an avid viewer, talagang it never fails to make me smile also. Kaya also thank you also, Chupapi, for what you do. Kaya
thank you then.
Grabe.
So,
kasi I've always wanted to deconstruct kasi how does Chupageti do it eh. Parang like an opportunity like this is actually it's also priceless to me, Chupapi. Kaya thank you rin. Kaya
thank you rin, of course. Thank you rin.
Thank you. Tsaka also I think this is an easy question for you, Chupapi. Do you have a page where your viewers can reach out and connect with you? Because in case
yun.
Yeah. Yes.
Yun. So for everybody that's watching here, if you have time, if you want to watch some crazy stuff, if you want to just have a good time, just good vibes, lalo na ngayong boring na kayo sa COVID, you can go and visit our page. It's Lallave Motorsports Project Anbu. Medyo mahaba nga lang siya. So, Lallave Motorsports Project Anbu. Ayan. Go and search for our page. Check us out. And we have, of course, motorsports. We have some esports races for you guys every Tuesdays and every Saturdays. Sometimes also on Fridays pag merong race room. And we also have a lot of games that we're playing from Tuesday until Saturday mornings. So yun. Sana makadalaw po kayo.
Nice. Well, guys, to the viewers out there who are longing for new content, or shout out to those friends who are watching na naubusan na ba kayo ng content, panoorin niyo si Chupapi, man. I promise you, I guarantee you, hindi kayo mabobore. And also, if you guys are avid sim racers, I urge you to check out his page because basically the avenue that I've been wanting to do from back then, he's actually doing it now. And even me as an interviewer, I'm actually learning from him as we speak. Kaya yeah, kasi grabe, Chupapi, yung yung growth niyo sa track is nakahabol kayo kahit parang effortless lang sa iyo, Chupapi. Parang kung ako yan.
Ay, hindi. Ang hirap nun.
Hindi kasi parang ako, kung na-imagine ko sarili ko doon, grabe, parang 5 laps pa bago ako makahabol.
Alam mo yung kulang na dumugo na ilong ko. alam mo yung utak mo yung parang, shit, kailangan ganito yung gawin mo. Shit, kailangan upak. Kailangan, di ka pwede bumitaw. Alam mo yun? Alam mo yung nasa utak mo na parang shit, hindi ko alam kung kukunin ko to ng sagad gasolina o bibitawan ko, pero isasagad ko na lang. Ganun kahirap.
Ah,
Pero mahirap yun.
yun, actually, that's one, yun yung isang factor na kailangan makita ng viewers eh. Kasi sa mga nanonood kay Lallave Motorsports, mukha siyang madali, pero I think ngayon nakita niya hindi siya madali. So, yun. Nakita, I think, Terence can vouch for that. Kita niyo sa mukha niya right now, hindi siya
Ang
madali.
hirap.
Pero the moment that you actually, you got it, like if you win or you actually made it to at least top 5 and above, talaga, wow, it's kakaiba sa feeling, no, Chupapi? Kasi
It's
parang,
priceless para
it's
sa akin. It's a
priceless,
priceless feeling. It's a priceless feeling.
especially kung bully kung bully yung leader or kung natatalo mo siya, di ba? Sarap sa feeling eh. Talaga ano eh. Nakarelate ako dyan sa papi. Kahit sa...
Ay, no comment, no comment.
Totoo eh. Kahit sa
Tawa na lang
streams
tayo.
namin eh. Kahit sa streams namin ng barkada ko, grabe. Pag may bully, tinatawanan na lang namin eh. Kasi...
Di ba? Di ba? No comment. Tawanan na lang natin.
Tama.
Ganun lang. Good vibes lang. Good vibes.
Good vibes lang. As also, Chupapi, isang pahabol din ng isang viewer kung ngayon is that paano mo na ko-combine ang multiple games sa stream, like for example Race Room and GT Sport, parang they don't feel the same, Chupapi, no?
They don't. They actually both avenues of this hindi siya talaga parehas.
Yeah.
Ibang-iba yung feeling on GT Sport. And on Race Room, ibang-iba rin yung physics, characteristics and dynamics of the vehicles. So, what was the question? How do I cope up?
Like how do you connect them? Like for example, pag nasanay ka sa isa, paano mo sasanayan yung sarili mo sa kabila? Kasi parang kung nasabi niyo nga po, hindi sila pareho.
Medyo mahirap siyang i-explain. Medyo mahirap siyang for me medyo mahirap siyang i-put into words yung kung paano ka mag-a-adjust or from one game to another. The thing I do is you have to put in the effort kasi. You have to put in the laps. You have to put in the work. So for you to be able to adapt from one game to another game, the technique that I do is to sit down and practice. So yun yung pinaka-kailangan for you to be able to get the seat time, for you to be able to feel the difference. And once you feel that difference, you have to adjust. You have to adjust on how the car behaves, on how your inputs need to paano mo ibibigay yung input mo to correct the car, to get it on a stable platform across the corner. So mahirap siya. It takes time. And I don't recommend that beginners or somebody that's new in sim racing to try out different games all at once. So it's mahirap po siya. Oo. You might have a big headache doing that. Oo. Moving from one game to another game. Pero mahirap po siya.
So I guess from what you're saying, Chupapi, is that in a nutshell, the physics and the feel is very different from each game. No? They're not the same talaga.
They're not the same. Oo.
But if there's one thing that you can say that's similar to it, Chupapi, what would that be?
Similar.
Like
parang what do you mean by similar? I mean from
like
itong
example,
physics, from itong game to itong game, ganon?
Yeah. Like any similarities from each one of them? Like usually what I would get, the answers I would get is they will compare Need for Speed, Race Room, Gran Turismo, Assetto Corsa. That's
hindi. I don't want to like what you call this, parang compare those games kasi the physics of those games kasi to each its own.
Yes,
It's
yes.
each its own. Kumbaga, many are saying that Gran Turismo marami nagsasabi na Gran Turismo is simcade, hindi siya full simulation, it's an arcade
Mm-hmm.
slash simulation, whilst
Okay, okay.
Race Room is a full-blown simulation physics.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, iba kasi, mahirap, I don't want to be some sort of like an elitist na parang, kasi pag ganito, ganyan. Pag sa race room, ganyan. Pag sa GT Sport, ganyan. Pag sa iRacing, ganyan. Para ka ng elitista nun eh. Ayoko ng ganun.
Okay,
Mahirap yung ganun.
that's true.
So, mas maganda na, if you don't like the handling physics of, let's say, a certain game,
Mm-hmm.
rather than bashing the game, saying that it's ganito, it's ganyan, kinukumpara ko sa ganito, ah, pangit naman yan eh, kumpara sa race room, pangit
Yeah,
naman yan, kumpara sa iRacing eh.
yeah, yeah.
Elitista ka nun. Wag, 'di ba,
True.
para sa akin, wag kang maging elitista kasi pangit eh. So, ang
True.
akin, if you don't like the game, then go ahead, play the game that you want. But don't
Nice.
bash the other games just because it doesn't suit you.
True. True.
'Di ba?
All right.
So again, to each its own. All the games are actually good. Need for Speed is
True.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Forza is good.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, even ano bang yung mga racing game na ano ba? GT Sport is good.
Mm-hmm. Assetto
Everything is good.
Corsa, R
Assetto Corsa
Factor.
is good. R Factor is good.
Mm-hmm.
Dirt Rally is good. Dirt
Yes.
4 is good.
Yep.
Diba?
Yeah.
Everything, all those games are good. So,
True.
pangit mag-compare.
That's
Pangit.
true. That's true.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wag ganun. Mm-mm.
Yeah. So for the viewers out there, it doesn't matter what game you actually start out with, and as much as possible, each game has their own unique trait. So to those people who are doing reviews and who is the more superior racing simulator, I guarantee you that's not gonna go anywhere. All right, because each has their own brand, each has their own unique capabilities. So let's prefer to keep it that way, and especially for Gran Turismo, and I believe Chupapi, Gran Turismo is a PS4 exclusive, right?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
PS4 exclusive. Yes.
yeah, I see. And for many games like namely Dirt Rally 2, they may be cross-platform, but the challenge there is that the live interaction per console is actually on the high, but from cross-platform, it's actually not that available yet since there are clashes, I think, with other consoles and PC. So yeah,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
yeah. So also, just to top things off, Chupapi, what are your thoughts on racing simulation in a nutshell? And
Racing simulation in a nutshell. Yan, ito
ito
na
na yan,
tayo.
ito
Ito
yan,
na yun.
Chupapi.
Ito na yun. Ito
Yeah.
na yun. Ano ulit yung sinabi ko kanina? Okay.
I-rewind natin, Chupapi.
Ano ba ulit? Racing simulation in a nutshell. Para sa akin, racing simulation in a nutshell is for you. It's for you to be able to race anytime, anywhere, at the comfort of your own house or at the comfort of your own room. So you get to go racing at any time, any day, anytime you feel like doing it. So long as you have it, you can do
Yeah.
it anytime. So yun, in a
Nice.
nutshell.
So to the viewers right there, here you go. That's the one-liner from Terence Lallave, and I'm pretty sure he means it because he's living it. He's onto it all the time, and not just for racing, even for other games also. And guys, I encourage you to also check out my page, Dominado E Motorsports Rally, and along with Lallave Motorsports Project Anbu. And guys, the sim racing community is more than welcoming enough to actually entertain people who are actually getting into sim racing. And given COVID-19, contents consumption are an all-time high, and I guarantee you that us producers right here, me and Terence, we actually enjoy providing content. So I guess Terence can vouch for that. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
And also, to those who are curious on how to get into sim racing, feel free to actually reach out to Terence or me. And I guarantee you guys, your journey has just begun. Our time here is over for the interview, but your journey has just begun. So thank you for this interview, Terence. I know your time is very valuable to you, and for the viewers watching, thank you also for watching. And
Thank you, guys.
I will see you all on the next interview, and hopefully action can be made for everyone. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Terence.
Thank you. Okay na.